Hey, today I'm going to be trying to make a strategy RPG. For the first part, I probably just want to get characters moving around and getting our grid set up, maybe a basic tile map. You'll see me here. I'm going to open up a project. I already made it. If you haven't done that, you just do create, type in a name for it. I'm using compatibility mode because it's the most compatible, hence the name. That's all you really need to know for that right now. But since I already made mine, I'm just going to open it here. If when you make it, it doesn't open automatically, just double click on it. You can also hit edit up here. So strategy RPG, making it with references clearly to games like Fire Emblem and Advance Wars. Those are the main two that I know. Or the Tactics Ogre, games like that. But Fire Emblem will probably be my main influence, at least in terms of the game mechanics. I'm more interested in like a fantasy role-playing game style, but who knows? So the first thing I do anytime I make a new game is that I go to my projects folder and I find the last game that I worked on. You don't have to worry too much about this right now, but it's something to think about down the road. So the last one was Zelda NES, and what I'm going to do is just drag my utility folder over. That's going to give me a whole bunch of helper objects. I'm not totally sure why it's failing to load those when I import them, but I'm sure they're fine. And then I want to set up my project. So if you've done this before, you might have a theme. So I just search for theme, and it's going to be in utility, theme resources, and then I have default theme. Same for my font. I have a default font. We throw that in there. There are a few other settings. Filter, textures, nearest. Doing that because I am at least using pixel art. If you want pixel art with pixel perfect drawing, then you want to set that to nearest. Otherwise, it's going to be filtered, and it's probably not going to look ideal. I also have a few. I don't want my input map. I want my globals. This part you don't have to worry about unless you have your own globals that you're using. Where do I put them? Are they just in here? I think the main one is debug and then globals. We can close that. I do need to reload because of the theme. That change won't take place until you reload. So that should cover that. Again, you don't have to worry about that unless you already have a theme or anything set up. I'm not sure why we're getting these. It's not compiling. Maybe I have to open it once. That's why. Okay. Because I have some references in here to things that I haven't made yet. So, yeah. Anyway, our first scene is going to be a Node 2D. I'm just going to call this world. It's going to need a tile map layer. It's going to need a character body. I think that's what makes sense. I'm going to think just like real quick. We can always change it later in terms of what we want to use for our character controllers, but I think that's probably the way to go. It gives us handy functions like move and collide, move and slide. With a grid-based game, you're probably not going to use move and slide, but you will need some kind of collision detection, and move and collide is really helpful because you can use it not just to move and collide, but you can also use it to check for collisions by toggling its test parameter to true. And so when you turn on test, it's only checking if that collision would happen. It's not actually moving the body, so it's simulating that movement. So let's call that character body 2D player. We're going to give it a shape. It has been a hot minute since I've worked in Godot. I'm going to zoom in a bit. I also forgot to change my viewport, so let's go ahead and do that. 320 by 180 is a classic pixel art resolution. Then for my override, I do 320 times 3, 180 times 3. You can modify that based on your screen resolution. I turn borderless on, and down here, I think we want viewport stretch, and hopefully that's all we need to do right now. So now I can zoom into my player. It's a good time to save them as a separate scene. They can just be in the main root. All right, so we have this player. They have a collision shape. Let's get some art on them. Let's see if I have a default rectangle. I think I do. Perfect. So I'm going to make a new sprite. And we're just going to put that white tile on them. And then what I want to do is offset not centered because we're working with a grid-based game. I want to make sure my rectangle is 16 by 16. Here's a little tip. If you don't have a texture and you don't want to make one real quick, you can probably just do one real quick in here, like new image texture. Maybe not. That might require an image. Let's see. I don't know. Just go into a art editor and make a 16 by 16 or whatever tile you want to work with, and then use that. I'm not sure exactly offhand how to make something really quickly in the editor itself. Anyway, gonna undo until I get back there. I'm just gonna call this sprite. Let's give our player a script. That's all good. So collision. Well, let me fix my music. Get my TV on real quick. See, when I'm recording, I can't have copyright music playing, at least in range, so getting that set up in the other room real quick. Come on, TV. Okay, so that's going to be gone. Always helps to have some music that you like playing. So, collision shape, I resized it so that it's a little bit smaller. What I want to do is then offset it to the middle of the sprite, which is going to be 8, 8. That means the center point, that's where it's drawing. For whatever reason, these are always centered like that. So we have our sprite. I can turn off the collision. The player, I'm going to go down to visibility and I think probably just modulate the sprite itself. And I'm going to make it maybe blue, bluish green. We can save that. When we go back here, we can see all that those changes are reflected in here. All right, we can instance that player and move it around. Obviously, we don't need more than one player, but I just wanted to show you that that's a possibility. Working with a grid-based game, we want to set up our grid. I'm going to do 16 pixel steps. That way, when we're using that grid snap, everything that we place is going to be snapped to that grid. Beautiful. TileMap layer, I'm not too worried about a name for it yet, but we do want to give it a tile set. So you can do new tile set. 16 by 16 is the default, which is perfect for us. Don't worry about any of these layers right now, but we do need to get some art in for the tile set. Let's just clear that. So let me see if I can find something I already made. Go to my game art. I think I made a prototype of this already a while back. Um, If you're new to my videos, I don't edit them. I like to work, or I like to show like what's actually kind of like to make games. So you get to see everything. You get to see the thought process. Here we go, tactical RPG. And you can see this is a really basic, excuse me, tile map. I can open it up in my photos viewer. Boom. We just have a mountain and trees. I think that's fine for now. I did not want it to go into there, so I'm just gonna make sure I get that out of there. Where did it go? It went in here. Whenever you drag a file in, it's always going to go to whatever folder you have selected. So I'm going to make a new folder, art. What I do is I have art, sound, music folders for each project. Then I also have those folders in my utility for things that I use across many projects, so I don't have to always copy those in. So drag that art, hit yes, we will automatically make those tiles. That's great. And now I have mountains and I have trees. So I might call this like, I really don't know what to call it yet. One thing I want to do is put in a color rect. I'm going to put it behind the tile map and everything. We're going to call this background. And for me, I'm just going to color it black. And I want to fill it, but since this is it's not a child of a control node, we can't use these auto anchors. So you can see what will happen here. It's just going to shrink. So what I do up here is layout custom minimum 320 by 180, and then transform it. Make sure the position is 0, 0. And so that fills our screen. If I save world and then we run the game, select current as the main, we'll see that represented now. Beautiful. It might have, I might not have had it up long enough for the video to pick it up, so I'll just run it again after I move the player. All right, great. So let's move our player. It's going to need function process delta. And pro tip, if you just start typing out these things and then hit enter, right, or if you select it, it's a fast way to get that autocomplete. So for probably movement, vector2 equals, I think this is in vectors, and it's going to be get 4 directions vector diagonal allowed false. This vector script is a static script. We can access its functions anywhere in the game, and we don't have to make it an auto load. This script, as well as everything in my utility, besides maybe like some of the art and some of the more specific nodes, you can find on my GitHub. I'll show the link real quick. I'll also try to link it on the video. So if you go to GitHub, I'm going to pull up mine real quick. It's going to be this link right here. GitHub.com/clion with 3 N's, Godot helper scripts. And then we're in Godot 4, so you just want to click on, actually go back here, green, download. And then you want to unzip it. It's a compressed folder when you download it. And then just drag this whole Tampopo utility Godot 4 into your project. Then you'll have access to a lot of the things that I'll be using here. Oh, I didn't realize I include mouse cursor and grid cursor. Cool. Yeah, feel free to use those. So anyway, movement is just, it's checking the inputs and it's returning a vector of those inputs. So if we're pushing up, it's going to return vector2 with x of 0 and y of -1, because in games, going up on the y-axis is negative. So top left, in other words, starts up here as 0, 0, and then we go down. Down here will be 1, 1 if this whole thing was a cell. So we get movement, and then we want to move our player. And so for now, let's just do move and collide. Motion, it's going to be movement, I think, times 16. And do I need anything else? No. Let's just see what that looks like. That should move us one tile at a time. It's hard to tell, though, because we don't have an input delay. So it's just moving 16 pixels every frame that we're holding. So what you want to do is go into your player. I'm going to give it a timer. We're going to call this input delay. And maybe like 0. No, we can do a 1/10 of a second. 1 shot is fine. We're going to get a reference to that. Hold control as you're dragging that in. That'll automatically format that. And so first at the top here, now we can do if input delay dot is stopped. I'm actually going to change this to if not, then we're going to return. So if this input delay is running, we don't want to run any of this code beneath it. And man, I have to tell you, it is so nice working in Godot again. Oof, it's just so intuitive. Like riding a bike. Okay. So now we need to start that timer. And we'll just use the time that we have on there. And so now you'll see that we will move every 1/10 of a second as long as we're holding, right? So that kind of like, it's better, right? But it's kind of janky. So what if we animate this movement instead? In fact, I don't even know if we need to be a character body for this kind of game, but we're going to try sticking with it. So what I want to do now is animate these positions. And so we're going to need a new var called position target. It's going to be a vector 2. Or we can do like 0. So, actually, I'm sorry. To make it on ready, and I'm going to set it to position. That way, we can use it right away. So up here, we want to do position equals lerp on position dot lerp, and it's going to be position. Sorry, yeah, position target. And weight, I'll just put 0.1 for now. So now we can do that, or position is equal prox. Sorry. Or so if our input delay is running, or we're not at our position target, then I'm gonna wait. And now the only problem with doing it this way, I'm pretty sure, is that we will not have collision. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're not colliding before we allow it to happen. Also, we need to get rid of this now. This will become a test later. But for now, we can just test the movement. Okay, so it's not working. Position is equal to prox. So when something like that happens, oh, I know why. We're not setting position target. So it's going to be position plus movement times globals dot cell size. For you, if you don't have a global script yet, also I need to check cell size. Oh, we're using 16 by 16. You can just as easily do like const cell size vector 2 equals, just put this in your player script and you'll be able to use that. Okay. The important thing is that we're multiplying movement by 16 and 16. So whatever direction we're moving, our target position is going to be 16 pixels away in that direction. I think I need to clean this up. It's a little bit too slow. Yeah, this isn't really what I want. Lerp might not be the way to go here. Let's try, do we have move toward? Yeah, let's do that. And let's just try, like, I think we can do 1 times delta. Like, okay, we definitely don't want to use delta there. It's, anytime you're doing something like this, it's going to be trial and error. That's kind of better. Let's see. Maybe I'll just stick to immediate movement for now. We'll worry about getting fancy with it later. So I'm just going to comment out this other stuff. We're going back to basics. And yeah. Because really I should focus on functionality. I do just want to make that faster. Great. So we have our player. I'm going to go ahead and make a script called actor. Let's open that up. This is going to extend by 2D. Class name actor. And then player is going to extend actor. This is going to be actor player. And then I'm going to rename actor player. I think that's how they format it in this. We probably do it the same down here. We put actor first, so that when I go ahead and do first off, let's move some of this to there. I'll go over inheritance real quick. Just let me get set up here. We're going to duplicate actor. Call this actor enemy, extends actor as well. Enemy's not going to have anything in it yet. So the idea is that we duplicate our actor player and call it actor enemy. I meant to do this one. You know what? For this kind of game, they're kind of all the same. I was kind of going in autopilot mode. Bear with me. We're going to rethink this. Actor player is not going to be actor. And let's put everything in actor. And then I'm going to be wild and, well, no, we'll keep actor player and actor enemy for now. We're just not going to be using them. And then player is just going to be actor. Because I'm not sure exactly how I need to split up their functionality yet. I'm actually going to call that actor, and let's do a no 2D. I think it can be on the TileMap layer. I don't see a problem with that. But we're going to put our actors on that and call that actors. That way it's kind of like a folder for them. And we're going to duplicate a few times. I need to turn my grid snap back on. I don't know why it changed. No, we just want to fix that. So actor 5, actor 4, I'm holding Alt to like select specific ones. And actor 2. This is maybe a little bit too symmetrical. All right. And then let's get some mountains. Mountains, baby. Mountains. Get some trees. Keep in mind this is just placeholder art. Just to kind of make it a little more interesting. And we'll use these for movement checking, accuracy checking, etc. So I think one of the main things we need to do is differentiate between the two. So what I'm going to do is go in here at the top of the script, do @tool, and maybe instead of modulating our sprite, I'm going to copy that value before I clear it. And we'll just go ahead and modulate the actor. Is that smart? I think for now it's fine. So, wasn't able to get that color. I'm not too worried about it. Actually, I might go back and get that. So it didn't copy. I need to open this up and copy that hex value. Then I'm going to clear it. And I think we can send that through. So what I want, first of all, I'm going to save these colors. I think we just do that. We might need the hex, and so it's going to be like const friendly color. That should work. Enemy color. We can just put like color dot crimson for now. I want at export var. We're gonna do is friendly full equals true. Maybe false for now. And then we want to do a set get. I think we just do, not totally sure of the formatting here. Let me look that up real quick. It's just a little bit different from Godot 3. Okay. Wait, what? Okay. Set value. Now we do that. And so we have to put something in there. First off, is friendly equals value. That's fine. And inline code must go in inline. Do I just do that? What is the problem? Let's go in an inline block. Let's do that. Okay. A little finicky. That's okay. So we're setting is friendly. And then what I want to do is access sprite and do, so sprite.self-modulate equals friendly color if is friendly, else enemy color. That's what's called a ternary operator. We're doing those actions in one. So I want to take these first three, we're going to make them friendly, and then these guys, we're going to make them not friendly. And nice, it works. Now what I like to do, tools are a little finicky, so what I want to do is close everything out, reopen it, and see if it's still working. It's not. It looks like if that's not set to anything, it's not going to give that color. So maybe what I'll do down here is just make sure that that code's getting ran. What we do is if, well no, just do is friendly equals is. Alright, so I'm going to close out world and see if that did it. Beautiful. So now we have different actors. I probably want to change their name too. Like actor player. Make sure it's a string. If else actor enemy. Alright, so we're going to close that. Boom. It automatically changes the number, so you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, so we look at our actor. With this code, all of them would be moving in the same direction every time. Watch. Which is obviously not what we want. So we're going to give var like active false. And so up in world, we're going to give that a script. Ready. Just for now, what we're going to do, might as well get a reference to the actors. Actors dot get child 0. That active is true. Oh, I'm sorry. We also need to check in the actor. Wait, this is wrong. These need to be actors. They had the wrong script. So before I change that, let's take all this and put it in here. I have to reset those. I don't know why this says actor enemy. So I just want to make sure it has the actor script. That's what we need to be a tool. It's going to break all the things I just did, I think. Or not. Cool. And again, since I did some changes, I just want to reload, make sure it's good. So now we should be activating the first. Not true. I forgot to throw in the active check. So here we do if not active, return. Beautiful. We can see some weird movement happening. It's because we can move until we collide with them. Their collision's actually not ideal. And I think I just want to make these guys area 2Ds. Now we will use that. And now we need a new way of doing collision checks. Let's think about it. So if I turn on collision, I put these a little bit inside because that's going to help when we're checking collision around it. But basically, we need to test that area and see if we overlap with anything. So movement is fine. That's fine. Then we want to do like get. If we look at that, it's going to check everything that we're colliding with. So to do that, I think we have to move. That's fine. Check collision. Do that. We probably need to await a frame, but we'll just do this for now. Get overlapping areas. This can be if. Then we return. See if that works. If it doesn't, we probably need to do a wait for a frame. No? I don't understand why that's not working. Let's look at our functions in here. Well, we want to do that either way. I don't understand. It's so glitchy. Oh, it's because of this. Well, I tell you what, maybe Area 2D is not what we want. And that's part of how I work. we try things out. I do it in real time. I'm actually just gonna undo. See if everything looks fine. So let's go back to the original issue. You can see it bumps in. So we're not filling that whole area. Now I will try with a full-size collision. I remember it being glitchy though. Now I'm pressing left and we were colliding. I'm pressing down and we're colliding, even though we're technically right on the outside. So it's inconsistent. I think that's just how collisions are handled. In Godot. So I'm going to go back to the smaller method. And what we want to do is this, but test only. And we are going to use position target. But we don't need to set that yet. We might as well do that. Do that. I mean, you can do like if not. I don't even know if it's worth checking. We might as well just do it all in one line. I was going to check if it's 0 first. But we have to do that anyway. Multiply by cell size. Then we can just put movement in there. Then we do if move and collide, we return. Otherwise, we set position target and consume the movement. There we go. I think I'm going to slow this down. We could put call it like so it's clear what's happening. That's weird. We just got off track there. How'd that happen? I don't know. Seems fine now. Let me turn that off. So we've handled a basic map and drawing the sprites on there. I kind of glossed over making that art, but basically these are just 16 by 16 tiles. You can go and find any kind of tile map you want. You don't have to make it yourself. I'm just using really basic placeholder art. We have an actor class that can move around. It's clamped to a grid. And we have collisions. We're also starting to get the separation between actor and player. I know we're going to need something like this is going to be an array of cells. And I think that's okay. I'm saying I'm true. Down here, we want to do self-travel.append, position target divided by. Actually, I want to get a reference to cell size here. I think that's okay. It's just a little bit cleaner. Okay. And so now we're tracking cells traveled. And we can print that every time we move. Cells traveled is an array, so it's like a list. When we append, we're putting this value here onto the end of that list. And so it's going to print out the cell that we just moved to. The next thing is that we need to check if we're landing on that cell, if we're backtracking. I get a really quick I don't even know how the functions work in this draw. I draw text. String. Okay, cool. I have to supply the font. That's annoying. So the font, I don't know. Does that work? And then I want this to be string cells traveled dot size. String not found. Do that. Okay. I'm not sure that'll work. It's printing on ourself. Is there a way I can print global chords? I guess that's fine. It's only if we're active do I want to print that. Also not updating, which is weird. Why is this not working? Maybe it just, do I have to call update on the draw function? Yeah, okay. Q redraw, okay. So now we should see the size. Yeah, cool. All right. But look, I mean, we can't move that much. That's just kind of insane. So what we want to do is check before we even append it. Let's do this. Var target cell target is going to be that. And that in there. We're not going to do it quite yet. Check if cells traveled that has cell target. Actually, I think we want find. So we want to get the index so that we can use it. So it's like so we're going to cut that. Then if cell index not equal -1, then let's just do this. So if it equals -1, we do all of that. Either way, we need to redraw. Else, we need to clear everything beyond that position in the array. And for that, I think we can just do cells traveled dot resize cell index. Probably have to do maybe some math to that, but let's see. So I'm going to walk a while. Now I'm going to come back to 0. Or, okay, 0 is not in there. So we could put our start position whatever. I mean, we can see that it's working because that number resets. So like if I walk all the way out here, come down, and I go up, right? This will make more sense once I start drawing the cells, which I could do like this. We're going to modify that. So we're going to do cells travel plus that. And down here for cell vector 2 in cells travel, we want to print that out. Not print, we want to draw those cells, but at their local position or global. Can I do that to global cell times cell size? And then we want to draw rectangle. So you need a rect and a color, and everything else looks fine. So rect, color, let's see. So rect 2, it's going to have cell position and cell size. And color will be color blue, kind of like that aqua. That's kind of nice. And so now it should be drawing a rectangle at every cell that we traverse. I'm going to guess. I'm not sure why this isn't for setting. I'm going to guess that 2 global's not working as I imagined it. do that. Maybe that. So close. Node's own transformation. Let's do that. And our collision's getting jacked up again. Fun times. Maybe because if I'm moving before we're in position. Did I get rid of that code? Yeah, that's the problem right there. We need our position checking. That's the problem with the collisions getting jacked up. The drawing, I'm just gonna count that out. Not working. Path drawing. We probably want to use the tile map for that anyway. I don't need to see that anymore. So what I'm gonna do is go to. I'll just put that on another spreadsheet. 64 by 64. Maybe I can just find something online. Not seeing anything immediately. So, off to my editor. What I want to look at is Godot tile set auto tile. And what I want to do is double check the template. So if I look up 2x2, of course 2x2 is not showing up. What's the problem? I have to be in the tile map. Might just have something. I don't need anything that fancy. don't even think I need anything like that. Maybe. Maybe I do need a more complicated. Just to show you what the heck I'm talking about. This thing. But that's a really simple arrow. I know what we can do. It just came to me. We're going to make another TileMap layer. I think that's the play, yeah. And we can give it a new tile set. It's going to need for now for forever. Just gonna give it a blue. We're not in Zelda, we're in where did I put it? Tactical RPG. Just gonna call it arrow. It's not even an arrow yet, but do that. And game art, tactical. I'd tell I'm a little bit tired right now. Yes, okay. Find that tile, and oops, that's a good reminder to lock all these things. Not the players, but these things. Pause arrow. And so if I select arrow, I select that tile, we can paint it. We can see it's a little bit too opaque, right? I mean, it's 100%, so we're going to modulate and just turn that down a bit. And 100 looks probably about right. Just going to clear all of that. I'm going to give arrow a script. Oh, do I want to rename it? Arrow path. And func. Let's set cells. So first we're going to call clear, and then we want to loop through the cells. We are going to set cell at cell with source ID. I think it's going to be 0. Yeah. So we clear everything that was there before, and then we draw all of these cells. Now we need the actor to communicate with arrow path. And so maybe the actor just bounces that up to world, and then world sends it down, something like that. So world already has all the actors. So let's set that up for actor dot get children. We want to do actor dot move dot connect, and we're going to connect to arrow path. Remember, hold control. Arrow path dot on actor moved. We're going to make that in arrow path. That's going to be a cell. I'm sorry, actually, just get rid of that. Let's go right to set cells. And then the last thing is we need to make that signal move cells. It's going to be on vector 2. We could specify that in here, I think. And then the actor needs to emit moved. We'll do moved.emit, and we throw cells travel. Now, later on, we're not actually going to move the player. We're going to draw the arrow before we confirm that movement. Okay, but this is fine for now. This is totally not working. Let's think about what's going on here. Cells traveled is an array of vector 2. Arrow path, let's just see if you're getting anything. You are receiving it. Oh, I have to put Atlas chords. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't know. It seems so glitchy. That seems fine. It's just we have to optimize how we generate these cells. So cells should be there, and I'll probably give an export movement range for now. Let's say they can move 7 tiles. And we need to do another check. If cells traveled dot size is greater than or equal to so now I won't be able to move more than 7. The problem is I can't move backwards either. So let's change this. So it's open. Do this. We can check that first too. Open and that. No, that's not right. You do this separately. So if it's an open cell, but we're at our limit, we just exit. We don't change anything. If not, we should be able to walk backwards. So like if I do 7, oh no, it's just letting me go. Well, how's that working? Oh, position target. Position plus movement. Plus pixel target. That way, only if we get down here do we change that. Alright, so yep, can't move backwards either, that's a problem. Didn't close that. Ironically, I didn't close that. Alright, so let's go open cells, right? It's printing out open. It's still printing open even though we should be colliding. I want to print cell target. I want to print and I want to print. See what's going on here. So 5-3. We are 0, 1, 2. If I select this, you can see it prints it out down here. 5-3. We moved on to 6-3. I have no idea why it's not printing 6-3. So it's saying that we're trying to go back to 6-3. Why can't I see? Dude, why is it not showing it? There we go. Yeah, we're on 6-3. I don't know why it's saying. That's weird. Oh, because we're not changing position target now. There we go. Okay. Yep. Now I can go backwards. And when we resize, I think we need to do +1. Yep. Like up that by 1. Where are you? So we gonna do that. I'm trying to draw that starting cell. Try a different method. Divided by cell size. Where are you? Very nice. So another thing they do in Fire Emblem is that they would calculate more efficient ways of doing this. So if there was no collision here, like what we have, so let me fix this real quick. I don't want to see my mouse. Let me go back. It'll help me for demonstrating. So like if I do something like that, we want it to kind of go like 1, 1, 2, 3 instead of keeping these. Right, we want it to look like that, in other words. Conversely, if I do that, we don't want it to keep all of these. This is 4 wasted cells. We want to do that. Okay. That's all working. Emotion. I am thinking. Let's take a look at our source. Movable area. That, I believe, is going to be a combination of A-star grid and flood fill. I'm a little bit familiar with A-star grid, flood fill not so much. I kind of understand the concept. But basically, I think you have to use A-star grid to calculate valid movement. And then we can use that to draw onto the screen and clamp where the player can move. I'm probably not going to do that myself. I'll probably just grab some code and then walk through it on a video. But that feels like a good spot to end. And I think we'll probably, before we worry about this arrow, we'll probably just worry about getting our valid movement area and going from there. So, all right. Let me know if you have any questions or feedback. Let me know how your games are going. And yeah, always happy to hear from you. And I will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.